Well, I want to introduce myself. I'm Brendan Ahern Tyler Mancuso, Art Corporation AMB Inc. We're giving this presentation today. Where we start, as we all know here, automation, autonomous systems, not just the future, but where we are today and what's happening as we speak. Tyler and I have found that the most advantageous route to get into an entry point to this industry, the robotics industry, is through fully autonomous food service kiosks. And the reason that we believe that is because of numerous examples showing us exactly the same story, that getting in at this route is the most advantageous way.
So, we all know that automation and mechanization, is the future. It is inevitable. It's going to impact, almost every industry. Brendan and I, we met in business school, and for the past year, we've been focusing and creating a company, a robotics startup that has the ability to change the world. And at this point, we have the financial connections and resources necessary to move forward. What we're missing is a technical co-founder, an expert in robotics and mechatronics. And once we have him or her, we'll be ready to move forward immediately. And so I'm sure, as most of you know, in the past 4 years, we've seen an incredible shift with robotics. For a long time, industrial robots was just reserved for multi-billion-dollar corporations like Mitsubishi and Fanuc, usually to automate large-scale industrial factories. And what we've seen recently is that startups that have focused on food have had massive success with relatively few resources. Zoom, the autonomous pizza robot, just raised $375 million with SoftBank. And Creator, the autonomous burger restaurant in downtown San Francisco, is on the verge of some really incredible breakthroughs. Jeff Jensen, the roboticist, the brilliant roboticist who helped design the burger robot, has also advised and helped us along the way. And while these machines are absolutely incredible, they have to be run and operated by humans. And so the amount of jobs that they take away is relatively few. And because they have to be expanded with brick and mortar locations, the scalability on it is much slower. But there is a better business model, and that is autonomous kiosks. And that's because autonomous kiosks attack labor and real estate. And so on the left here, CafeX, and on the right, Rise and Every's. These are autonomous kiosks, roughly 30 square feet. And on the left here, this one produces coffee, and on the right is frozen yogurt. And the kiosk model is much more advantageous because the scalability on it. These machines, they do one thing and one thing well, and you can mass produce them and then place them all over the world. But there is one issue, and that is that coffee and frozen yogurt is not necessarily the best thing to automate for a number of reasons. One is that coffee and frozen yogurt is already a fairly automated product. You can get, from a Keurig type vending machine, a nice cup of coffee, and with a pull of a lever, I can get frozen yogurt from a fairly automated frozen yogurt machine. And lastly, automating these products doesn't necessarily make them any better or add value. On the other hand, for our product, automating it would truly be a revolution because it's a much, much better product when it's automated.
Yeah, and so bringing to this, I'll get out of the way so you guys can see this. Our perfect product, we have the perfect product for automating, for this automation in a food service kiosk. Our product, it's only simple, 4 non-perishable ingredients, so we're talking about shelf-stable, which leads to the next point, which is that simplified supply chain. One of the biggest issues with a lot of these kiosks and a lot of the food service vendors is our sourcing, right? Can we get the fresh stuff and can we get it when we need it? Is it always available? And can we keep it the same quality that it shows up in? Well, we don't have that problem here because of our 4 simple non-perishable ingredients. Now, down the line a little bit more, we're talking about because of these 4 simple non-perishable ingredients, because of the simplified supply chain, you also have a very overall low cost product to produce with extraordinarily high margins. So margins on this product specifically are as high as that you'll find in all of food service and food distribution. Not only is the product very cost efficient, has a simplified supply chain, is easy to reproduce and the incredibly high margins, but at the same time, it's light, it's fresh, it's delicious, it's something that you'd love to eat any time of the day. And it just so happens that it's vegan. And I know that might not mean much to a lot of us, but in the world as we know how it is today and in a whole sense, it becomes something that becomes palatable for a larger audience than we would otherwise have. Really the coolest part about this, and I'll get into some of the other aspects of why this is so special, but we're taking in this, if you can envision it, this fully autonomous kiosk, and we're taking from start to finish, so from a raw product to a fully cooked product within 90 seconds right in front of the customer. And so here we are. This is our adaptation of the CafeX kiosk. And what you see here is, you see our tiger-like robot who is actually operating this thing. So it is fully autonomous and he's behind the wheel, so to speak. This is also attacking, just like Tyler had mentioned, the 2 biggest issues that face businesses today. I don't care what industry you're in, it's real estate and it's labor, the cost of real estate and the cost of labor. So why is this so advantageous? It's advantageous because you're talking about roughly 30, 40 square feet altogether. It can fit in wherever it can get in, so to speak. And you're also dealing with the lack of labor. We've eliminated all of the extra necessity and all of what he was talking about when it came to the brick and mortar type food service establishments. They may be heavily automated, but you're only replacing a few number of the jobs, not all of them. And so because of that, the scalability is not the same. With ours, scalability becomes exponential because of its easy replication. And then you think about it from this perspective. Now I'll put you in a mind frame for a second, go with me. We're walking through the mall, right? Whether you're an adult, whether you're with your kids, whatever it may be, you walk by this kiosk, right? And our robot, our really friendly animated tiger robot, scans and he sees you, he picks you up and he waves, and in his voice he says, hey, would you love to try our product today? And just because of the novelty of it, just because of the enthralling, captivating entertainment value, you're sucked in, right? You're gonna give it a run at least once. Same with the kids can't stay away. That's pretty much, already been determined. Kids love the draw of the tiger robot and just the novelty of it as well, the same way we do. But the thing that keeps you both coming back time and time again is the incredible quality of this product. This product supersedes all other qualities of the same type of product produced wherever you may find it. So, touched on the top 2 here, attacks real estate and labor. Like we said, the biggest draws, the biggest painstaking costs that businesses incur on a day-to-day basis, it attacks those directly. That is what the concept is designed to hit. At the same time, we have this highly captivating, engaging entertainment value. Not only is it something that draws you in, but it keeps you coming back, and there's a real personalized connection with the type of robotics that we're talking about. But as we get a little deeper here, I want to talk a little bit, lead into what we really think of where we're going and what the plan really is. Now this venture, this fully autonomous food service kiosk is only a seed. It's only the beginning to a much larger, more diverse, and highly impactful robotics corporation with ventures that go far beyond where we're at. And so we want to be able to utilize, and we can utilize, this highly transferable, highly adaptable technology that we utilize for the kiosk itself and transfer that to any ventures where it can be utilized or we undertake going forward. The last point, and this is really an important one, is the competitive landscape. The competitive landscape for what we're talking about, our specific chosen product, and the way it's produced freshly from start to finish in front of the customer just isn't done anywhere. As a matter of fact, I've been to just about all the places where you might find this freshly prepared, and we're talking about hidden away, brick and mortar type locations that don't have any type of cachet or any type of grand marketing involved. It's kind of, if you're in the place when you're there, you might go by and try it, but it isn't scalable, it isn't replicable. What we have here is an ability to scale out, and that scalability gives us, weeds out most of the competition for the product that we've selected.
And I'll just add that we've spent 8 months looking at every single product that you could ever even think about automating, and there's nothing that meets all the categories like this one. This picture right here, we just wanted to touch on this because this, the question is, where do we go from here? Where do we go after the kiosk? And that is, we have plans, very concrete plans, to produce autonomous systems that can service other autonomous systems, such as autonomous vehicles and eventually drones. We actually pursued this model for a number of months before we realized that it was just a bit ahead of its time. But now we have a much better and much more advantageous starting point. But we also have concrete plans for where to go next.
Yeah, and like I was talking about our longer term vision, what really is that? That's to spur societal change. We, us together, want to positively impact the human race in a general sense, facilitating success in everyday life. Day by day, we want to make your life better. We want to make it more facilitated. We want to make it easier. We want to help people that can use our help, and we want to help the world that needs our help.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't bring this slide up because this is 10, 15 years out, but we thought that this was the right environment to do so. Me and Brendan, we kind of wanted to just show who we are, at our core. I'm an environmentalist, and my biggest passion is the plastic pollution that is, the oceans are, riddled with plastic. Even, land masses have too much plastic as well. The issue is that the only way to solve this problem, because it's so large and it's so daunting, the only way that we will ever be able to solve the plastic pollution problem is with autonomous systems. And the technology to do that is not here today, and it won't be for 10 to 15 years. But the point of this is that when that day comes, we will be on the front lines. And how we get there starts by entering the robotics industry with food, because that is where the door is currently.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. For ingredients, what's the food?
Yeah,
We'd love to have lunch with you.
Yeah, love to spend some time with you one-on-one to tell you about it.
It's kind of an NDA, like legal thing.
Yeah.
We provide it.
Okay, all right.
Are you pitching the meal or you pitching the automation? So
We're pitching the kiosk. Well,
The kiosks.
we're not pitching anything. We're moving forward. We're trying to find a technical co-founder. Yeah.
Like in the nutshell,
Mm-hmm.
is it you introducing a new product, or you?
No, so the product already exists. What we're trying to do is introduce a new form, a new fashion, a way to introduce that product.
Do I know this product?
Yeah, most likely
yes.
you do.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
But the problem is, and I'll tell you this, and now I'm not going to go too deep into what we're talking about, but the way you know this product is so different from its most optimal form. And the way you probably have experienced this product, indulged in this product, may I say, it won't be the same way of which you'd experience it in this form, freshly prepared.
So judged by my accent, you probably already figured out I was not born here, right? So I'll give an example, right? So when the Soviet Union collapsed, right? So there was a lot of movement of business ideas across the border, and one of the I know the guy there is this one delicious Slavic food, right? So everybody from my background really likes it, right? And it's delicious, it's tasty, it's wonderful. This is the best thing in the world you ever tried. And they try to kind of sell it here in the United States, and they fail miserably.
Mhm.
Because apparently people culinary tastes are extremely conservative. It's next to impossible, like if you don't know that thing like from your childhood, no matter how great it is, right? So you don't like it. The uptake rate will be very, very low, right? So that's my question. So like, even like, I know the product, but it's different from what you're going to propose to me, right? But for me, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but this will be a new product, right? So, and my observation, like based on that example, is that people are very conservative in what they consume daily. Right?
Yeah, it's a very popular product, but what we kind of meant by it being a revolution in a new product is the issue is that when you cook this product fresh in 90 seconds,
Yeah.
It's only in its optimal form for about 8 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is pushing it. So if you eat it within that 8-minute period, it's drastically better than most people experience it, because most people experience it was cooked long before and then kind of sat around.
But
and
like,
it,
I'm sorry, but I heard the story like about McDonald's that if it stays on the shelf more than 30 minutes, they just throw it away. So is it the same thing or different?
No, completely different. And what I would say is the way that this product is prepared requires that there's a small window of opportunity to eat it in its most optimal form afterwards. People still eat with extreme popularity and extreme voraciousness this product all over the United States and all over North America in general. But we have a better version of that product that most people aren't privy to, because like I said, the only places that can distribute this product specifically in the form we're talking about, freshly prepared, and give it directly to the customer, just don't exist in much spaces and much spheres. There's not much available to get our product the way we plan to serve it.
but it is sold in this
All over.
non-optimal form. It's
Right.
a world product.
And it
sold.
still is sold to a high volume and a high sales revenue all across the United States in its suboptimal form. So we believe that when it's brought to them, not only in its most optimal form, but with this revolutionary type innovation in the way that it's actually served and the process that takes place in front of you, the value add and the creation, the culmination of those factors just creates something incredible.
There's also many other similar food products cooked in the same method, so that our automation can be adapted towards other very popular products. Versus like frozen yogurt and coffee, you don't have a lot of lateral room to use that technology to
Do similar
do
things.
similar things.
Are you guys in San Diego?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So and when you find someone to help, with the mechanical and the robotic stuff, you're looking to set up a business or an office in San Diego?
Or
do you have an location in mind?
So as of right now, yes, but it depends on the person. It depends on the most advantageous route that we can take.
We can move to the Bay Area very easily, and if they're the right person, we can also negotiate an advantageous deal to move us or them.
Okay. But for now, you guys.
But for now, we're in San Diego, right?
But
And if
we're not tied down.
No, we're not tied down, but if we have the opportunity we find the right person here in San Diego, we'd love to move forward in that way.
The person you mentioned who helped with the burger.
Yeah,
thing,
Jeff Jensen. Yeah.
Is he usually in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
He's in the Bay Area.
So you went up there to meet with him?
Yeah, and then also Nick.
Borowski.
Yeah, Nick Borowski as well. Nick Borowski's actually how we're here today. And Nick Borowski's at Amazon 126. Incredible PhD, mechanical engineer, roboticist. Very helpful to us as well.
Yeah.
I had a question about your last slide when you were talking about pollution and the plastics problem.
Yeah.
Is that maybe being kind of a long-term goal?
Yeah. That was 15 years out, and we don't bring that up, but sometimes we like to add that in there to kind of show who we are at our core and what this is really all about.
So
Yeah, what the long-term vision is.
Were you thinking that plastics problem would be addressed by delivering food to customers in
No.
packaging?
So we're
Absolutely.
talking about
Like reinvesting and helping.
Yeah, right. We're talking about this venture, this autonomous kiosk serving this food product is the seed to us growing into a larger, more diverse, and really impactful robotics corporation,
Okay.
diverse in its fields, diverse in its outlays of technology, but also diverse in the problems that we're able to solve or address.
We start with food, but that's not how it
Just to
is.
get the
Yeah.
company
That's
started.
right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
We found that to be the most, as we showed with, we're trying to show with CafeX and with the other
Zoom.
kiosks and Zoom and
Food
Creator
is really the entry into the
yeah, in the
field.
startup sense. That's the easiest or most advantageous facilitated route to getting on the map.
Okay, so then if a long-term goal is when you're a larger robotics company, were you imagining that you might help develop robots that can pick plastic out of the ocean or help separate recyclable material from landfill material? Or
Exactly.
Exactly.
like different types of problems?
Exactly.
Obviously, we're talking 10, 15 years out, but
Yeah,
absolutely.
Those are cool problems. They
Yeah.
get
Absolutely.
solved.
Yeah.
But we can't go raise money to solve the plastic problem
Right,
in the
right.
ocean right now.
Right.
This we can raise money for.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why we're starting with this.
Makes sense, thank you.
Why do you need mechanical engineer?
We need a mechanical engineer roboticist, a mechatronics to design the
To help us.
robotics.
This is kind of commodity skill set if you want, right? You go to any company that makes food processing machinery and they're more than happy to help you with whatever you want, right? So,
No, he needs the animatronics too.
Yeah.
software,
Very few companies can.
Yeah, electrical, the software, the mechanical engineering portion of it, as well as the specs for the food service.
And that will be covered for one person?
No,
No.
but we need someone to head our team of
And then-
engineers, the people we'll put together.
It'll actually be a team of about 12 people, 12 mechanical engineers, software, electrical, underneath him. It's easy to go from the top down, hard to go from the bottom up.
like there's the company, it's a big company, very important, right? So what they do
Yeah, I know Breakwood, yeah.
they do for Walmart, they do the cleaning machines.
Yeah,
But they don't do it, right? So they just buy the machine from somebody and enhance it with whatever they
yeah, absolutely. And
I think this is a similar approach for you guys. So you take
Yeah.
something and automate it and.
of course, and there are certain parts of it that we can buy from other companies, but it's putting everything together. We need our own team of engineers.
Do you have some prototype? built?
Prototype of this, not as we speak, no.
We have a relative blueprint of how to build it, but it hasn't been
Because
built.
it looks like your family silver is with business idea and product, not necessarily with anything that is on the robotic side. So why invest if you can buy it? So I'm not selling anything. I'm
Mhm.
just trying to understand.
Mhm.
So,
Say it again.
They're creators, they wanna go from the bottom
But
up.
what I see your value right now as
Yeah.
we speak, right? So this is this unique product that is for ingredients and tremendous taste and a business idea, right? So, but you don't have anything specific on the automation robotics side, right?
I mean, there is specificity in the way that it's supposed to engage.
No, but right now, like you don't have patent, you don't have. Like,
No, we don't have any patent, no.
No, like specific like documentation. So like, there is not like, if you take product away and business idea away, like there is no asset related to the automation. So my point is that in that case, it's maybe cheaper just to.
To license it out or to.
No.
How much do you think it would cost to get a robot like this to be proposed? No,
Yeah.
over-the-counter solution, just rough numbers. I'm asking you, the person that asked the question.
I was thinking about that, right? So, and kind of, I'm a little bit scared, right? So you
Because it's not clear to me that there's an over-the-counter product for this. It's maybe a robot arm. I guess the robot, you can get a couple, there's some for $500. You see, really rudimentary robot arm, there's more
For the-
advanced ones for like 10,000.
For the
You
volume
need a
that they are,
heater, what degree of motions you need, the software that runs it. I don't know, maybe 20K? If you add everything, and then if that's a kiosk in 20K,
Yeah, but this is something I'm struggling to conceptualize, right? Because, for example,
what if you can make it for $1,000,
well,
right?
that's I don't know. So like on one side, so like let's say like there is another kind of already existing robot, right? So you go to the ATM, you give it cash, and they deposit into the
That's a highly sophisticated, that's probably 100,000.
It's like $1 million. So
Okay.
each
Yeah, but it's
application-
proven technology.
That's not viable, right?
No, but that's my concern, right? So the process is very simple. It takes paper, right? So it scans the paper, and if it's cash, it's cash. If it's check, it's check. But the mechanical device, like software side, is extremely expensive, right? While the operation and performance is extremely simple, right? It doesn't cook. There's no temperature control. There's nothing, right? So it's just essentially a terminal with some mechanical paper sheet, right? So, and already it's expensive. Now you go to something that cooks, that now you have all these safety, so you don't have to spill anything, no fire. So I don't know, it could be very expensive. So that's kind of fine.
Also, the laws for dealing with food this is
An issue. Yeah.
machinery. I work on a company where some of what we do can be used, or people have used it for dealing with food, and we stay away from that because there is a lot of FDA regulations around that. And then to the point that he mentioned before, and George mentioned is, you can probably do something that makes something that is, I don't know what it is, with a very simple robot, but if this is something that would be on a mall or an airport, and based on what you're saying, it's something that will have such a turnover that people will be asking for it, and that thing will be going at it constantly. First, you need to size it for capacity, so probably you will have, instead of one arm, you will have more than one or several of this machinery, and probably it's like industrial grade robotics that are fast, are very precise, they don't break.
Right.
Because your model looks great until the robot breaks apart, or one portion of that, this human, so one part breaks apart and then the human jumps or moves around and makes the
Right.
thing at the
Yeah.
end happen.
Right.
But if it's like highly integrated, that is where the efficiency is, and one component breaks apart because you did not leverage, you came up with this great idea, then the whole thing falls apart. So that means that you probably need to buy stuff that is already proven, tested, out there, that might be used for manufacturing, might be used for other stuff. But that means that it's
Well, I don't
really,
know.
probably really expensive.
What happened with the bikes? You know, that all these line bikes and stuff, they
Oh,
were
the-
around for a while, really,
Yeah.
right? And it kind of was pretty robust, and they're gone. I mean, at least in my neighborhood, they just
The
disappeared.
homeless learn how to do it really quick.
They hacked into them,
Cracked
right?
it.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess, you know, there's probably two reasons from what I've heard. One of which is the tariffs, you know, it was costing so much money to bring the new parts in to sustain the equipment because they'd break.
Now, in our neighborhood, North Park, they had encampments. They were tearing
Yeah.
them apart and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other is management, right? Is this, you gotta have a person that's supporting the equipment, so.
Right.
So it's just about problem solving.
And monitoring
You know,
and all
that
that.
the costs, that has to be sustainable, you know,
Yeah.
as long as you can, there's always ways to create
Well,
solutions.
also depends on your strategy. Business, your strategy might be, you have this vision, and you get this technical, this
Co-founder.
this Tesla guy or whoever, like have like a real passion, and you get one or several, and then McDonald's or whoever, the big corporate comes and gives you several millions of dollars, tens of millions, you retire, and then they expand on it. Because there is, besides the idea, there is a lot of implications. It's a huge paradigm change on
Yeah.
the way, even if it's fast, it tastes great. People are not used to buying stuff from they can't even have reference. They have vending machines. Those ones that you want a bag of chips and you put your money and the thing doesn't come out, they get stuck in the top, and you need
Yeah.
to start so people have mind maps of what they expect. A good question for you, and probably you have it, being in business school, is your target market. Maybe the target market is not Gen X or older, is maybe younger, Generation Y, that are way deeper into technology. But there is a lot of, besides the focus on the mechanical person, mechanical engineering, roboticist person, there's a lot of implications of the business that, depending on how far you want to get, you may need, if you want to do the whole thing, then you need to get into all this other stuff that is not related to the mechanical engineer, is more complicated.
Yeah, but I think the robotics industry is evolving so quickly now. It's amazing that in the past, in the biotech industry, everything was so Windows centric. Still, robotics are Windows centric. They're like closed off, you know, not networked. You know, you're dedicated to that computer. You know, if that computer crashes, you got to get another computer and somehow get the license to put the software on. I mean, now robotics is so networked. You know, you can you know, it's like the line bikes. They're just devices that you can track, you know, from a satellite.
I'm working on this project with artificial intelligence, with this car that you buy off Amazon, a toy, with a Raspberry Pi, with stuff that you download from the internet, some Google stuff, and you have an autonomous car. So
Yeah, that's a new approach to robotics, don't you think? I mean,
Yeah.
robotics have been around for a long time, but now you have this capability.
that will get you really quickly to do something that will work. What I don't know if you can build like a hardcore business,
So what our
like scale.
what our plan is to design the prototype, to build a prototype out, and we're talking about an unfinished prototype in the sense that it won't have to be industrial grade. We can do it, you know, as cheaply or as efficiently as we possibly can. We build that out, show that when we press this button from start to finish, we can produce the product we intend to produce. And then we can go raise that second round of funding, the big round of funding, maybe the VC round of funding that can go towards allowing us to get the right the exact right technology, put it together in the exact right specs, so that when we roll this thing out, it's clean, it's brushed down, all of the excess is taken away, it's functional, and it's reliable.
So right now what you're looking is towards building that prototype.
That's right.
It's going to
Fully
take
functional, that will make that product
That's right.
consistently. But
It'll
not
take about
necessarily-
$2.5 to $3 million for that prototype, and we have a method to get the resources.
Have you
to do
talked
that.
to like local CMs, like not CMs, like design?
We have very smart engineers advising us. And
You are at UCSD,
Yeah.
Yes,
so you probably know Noble.
Tom Bewley.
Bewley and Tolley and
yeah.
Gravish.
Noble, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
there is Noble, there is DNK.
Yeah.
And that's essentially, I work for HP, and HP essentially feeds or fed those companies.
Yeah.
mhm.
They are HP engineers, and what they do is they have people like you that come and have this, and then they build from it. I know they have done it for other local people, so, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I know, I just did random Google search, there is dime a dozen autonomous food processors companies. I don't know.
Okay.
No one doing this.
Do you guys plan to have it configurable? So like you punch in what kind of items that you want and how it's prepared?
Yeah,
Or
I
is
mean,
it just-
there'll be a limited selection availability where it's just choosing the quantity because the product itself will be served the same way each time.
Okay.
It only comes in one form, truly, unless you're doing an artistic, somewhat rendering of it where you add and customize to a real extreme degree. So,
So question for you, so let's say the stars align that all your dreams come true, right? So you get your mechanical engineer, you do the prototype, you do the real thing, it has a massive adoption rate, everybody's happy, and then 2 months later, competitor comes in, right? So from some distant part of the world, and they bring the same thing, arbitrage. How you, like, and this is existing product, right? So you cannot really patent it, so.
Well,
what's an
the
existing
The
product?
technology.
You just
can
told
be
me that
patented.
I know that it's 4 ingredients in it already, right? So you cannot patent it, right? So-
Right, we're not trying to patent the product itself. The product itself can be made, you can go
No,
and
but how are you going to protect your investment from
The process.
competition?
You have to
process.
patent the process.
the
The
process,
whole
Part of the
kiosk,
R&D?
the whole.
not the product, the
The
process.
whole kiosk itself, the technology can be patented.
You know, this is the sum of known users do not create new invention, right? So if you take robot and combine it with this, I don't know, granola bar, it doesn't make, well.
Creators
Creators
got patents on how to
Yeah.
have robot construction of a burger.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Exactly.
and other
Yeah,
people.
but like, you can get patent for anything, right? So, but
Yeah.
and this
well,
is
that's
just
true,
happening, right?
but-
So the point is that you go to the court and you say that this patent is invalid, and if it's really invalid, then you have no protection. But
Well, but then you can say that about anything.
Yeah, I mean, I
Patents
should-
are valuable
there's-
at
that
that
point, though.
like, you know.
Because if you have more of these kiosks popping up, the competition might be good, because then more consumers will be thinking,
Yeah.
oh, that's a
Yeah.
common
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And then if you already have brand loyalty, then yours will be spreading.
Yeah,
Right.
You don't even always want to fight patent stuff like too early.
Yeah.
Because there's times where you like let the other business get good
Let
and go
them
after the
know.
money and let it do, if it has these additional benefits of kind of creating the market
Yeah,
awareness,
exactly.
and then you come out as the kingpin, and like you can end up benefiting from elements of
Amen.
this.
I mean, the Uber Lyft,
Yeah.
phenomenon. It's it helps the business a lot of times. It's supposed to hurt.
I thought I had a guess on what the product was, but I had a 3-ingredient machine, but apparently there's an LA Times article dated 1988 about a Canadian company that invented a French fry robot, so I might not have nailed it, but I was like, potatoes are durable, oil's durable, salt's durable, and like it sounded like I had it.
Yeah, potatoes are not non-perishable.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are very
they're close, but
Close.
yeah, they last a pretty long time. I thought it was good enough for the turnover.
Yeah.
I have
awesome.
2 questions. So
Yeah.
first one, so when you guys mentioned the CafeX guys, or one of the guys help you guys, what does that mean if there's no prototype? And 2, I actually tried CafeX at San Francisco, but I think it actually took more than 60 seconds because I was doing Instagram.
Yeah.
Just ran out of time. Yeah, 60 seconds. So I think it was like simple coffee. So I was thinking, okay, how do you do it within 90 seconds if it comes as a food? So those 2 questions.
So the first one, we met with Jeff Jensen up there, not CafeX, but
Oh, it's just-
Creator.
Got it.
Yeah, and so we met with him off the recommendation from Tom Bewley over there at UCSD, the head of the coordinated robotics lab at UCSD. And what we talked about him with was the same thing we're talking about this with all of you, is that we're looking for this technical co-founder, and these are the best people and the right people to connect with and know the network, that very intimate network, especially up there in the Bay Area. The people are capable of, executing a vision like this, or that have the mechatronics and robotics background necessary. So in a lot of ways, it was either to survey the landscape of, who's out there, who's available, and how close of a connection do we have to them, and how easily can we reach them.
And the second question was,
How do you make it within 90
90
seconds
seconds.
if the coffee takes?
The
Yeah,
coffee
it takes less time than the coffee.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's already a machine that's that does it, and it's operated by a human, but a lot of it is already automated. So we're not starting from
Complete
zero.
scratch.
We can take a machine and then go the rest of the way. And as Jeff Jensen said, going from 65% automation to 100% is the most difficult thing that you're ever going to do. But that's why it's
Not
worth
everything's
it.
going on.
Yeah, that's why it'd be very difficult for someone to come after us as a competition with this faster than 6 months.
Yeah.
And also the technology can be adapted to we can change the food product as well.
Anybody else? All right.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.